about sports and share a beer. From the east coast of Canada to the west coast of the United States. Over to you, boys.
What's good, everybody? Guys Beer Sports Season 3 opener. Sean and Brad back with our special guest, Jeremy Hawks. So we're going to get into some stuff today. First of all, Sean, how are you? Jeremy, good morning.
Morning. Thank you.
I'm great, man. I'm so happy that Jeremy's here. I'm so happy we're kicking off Season 3. Football's around the corner. This is great.
Football's
It's a great day.
That's how terrible it is for me. I've got it bad. I'm watching preseason games.
Hey, CFL's in full swing, boys.
Yeah, I'd watch that too if there wasn't real football on. But normally I do that in July. I watch CFL because that's when it's going. But they were a little late here, so.
Yeah, no preseason either. They just jumped right into it, eh? It was like crazy.
That's gotta be a terrible product.
So we're going, the wife and I, Joanna and I, we're going over to the season opener of the Argos there. So this is already week 3 of the CFL campaign. So Argos aren't doing so well. They're already switching the quarterback.
Wow.
So we're going to see what happens. I'm looking forward to it.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting pretty excited here too. Browns' first preseason opener went pretty well, and they have some co-practice with the Giants this week too, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of fights in those co-practices, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we've seen a couple. I don't know if you saw the video from yesterday where those guys were like for real boxing, like took their pads and helmets off, and they were like squared up and going.
My gosh.
Yeah, I love it.
That's crazy.
There's a lot of hype about your Cleveland Browns there, Jeremy.
Yeah.
John,
Quite
I saw Baker Mayfield there taking the troops there at one of the practices. There was a bunch of troops that were there watching, and I thought that was a really classy thing for him to do. And I mean, Cleveland looks good. And Njoku now, is that what you were thinking about there as well, Brad? About Njoku talking about signing for another year coming up? Or?
Well, I mean, just that I think their offensive line is maybe the best in football, which is mildly surprising.
Yeah, right. Pro Football Focus, I think, has got them up there. And
I was just reading on ESPN this morning too that they're ranked, I think, as the best position group in football for offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. Their defense looks to be, stellar as has been.
Right, better than Baker. Guys bagging groceries.
Yeah, Baker's back. Right. I mean, looks like an Oklahoma Baker version, which is, probably scary for the rest of the AFC. I mean, interesting to watch. It's
Well, I think when they grabbed up OBJ and they made a couple of those trades there, they ended up giving up quite a few defensive players in order to become more offensively sound. So the fact that they've picked up a few off of the draft, which, I mean, honestly, this had to have been great for Cleveland to go into this year's draft and not worrying about we need a quarterback. We need, you know what I mean? Like drafting.
Well, I mean, for the first time in a long time, there was a handful of teams that were actually drafting best player available.
Right.
Exactly.
When you're at that spot in your organization, you're already winning.
Mm-hmm.
You're not pinned on, you're not getting the fifth best player on a team or on the draft board, right? Like,
right.
You can just draft what you want.
Awesome. Right. Yeah, I mean, and it pays off too because you look at guys like Josh Rosen was released this week, and he was top 5 or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
You just reach thinking you need these quarterbacks, and
that's hard to believe. That's hard to believe he was top 5, eh?
Now,
because he's on his third. He's on his third team, or he just came off his third team. He's going to his 4th team now. If he lands somewhere, which I'm sure someone,
Right.
I wanted to get your thoughts about Tim Tebow being released. Like last season, we talked about how many games, Brad, he needed in order to get a pension?
3 games.
Three games. I still think they did him dirty that way because it's just like one preseason game. Just keep the guy in pads. I don't know.
Well, I don't want to step on you, but you got so many guys that are probably more talented, younger, trying to make the team, and they deserve more of a shot. I'll give it that. But the hardest part is he's such a good dude. He seems like to be so squeaky clean that you want him to do well. But it was like a fantasy camp for him. You know, he's 34 or whatever. It was a fantasy camp.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I got a visitor. Hold on.
I was going to get Brad's take on that too, but yeah. But I hear what you're saying. I mean, Jacksonville wants to be as competitive as they can, considering the past little bit they haven't been. Urban Myers might love the guy, but he's got to do what's best for that football club at the end, I guess. So
yeah, that was kind of my spot too. Was I think maybe there was some locker room chatter about Urban playing favorites, and maybe that wasn't. Urban was in a tough spot. If it had been a year 2 or 3 and he already had some juice in that locker room, then the Tim Tebow experiment probably goes a little longer. But first year,
that's
trying to get some buy-in from the veterans. Maybe wasn't getting it if Tim wasn't. If he was the 5th best player out there, he wasn't going to make it. And to Jeremy's point, there's snaps and roster sizes matter. You can only have so many rosters in camp, and so if you have a need somewhere else, which Jacksonville probably does, you can't hold a body just to hold a body.
Now, is it true that they extended roster sizes in the NFL?
That was last year, I think, for COVID, right?
That was last year, and they kept it they did it for COVID last year, but now they've extended it through this year, right?
I don't think it was a lot, though. I don't think it was
it's
like
only a
massive.
couple.
Yeah,
It's only a couple.
and they already had like 3 or 4 tight ends on their roster.
Yeah, that's true.
I think they expanded their practice squad and then how many you could have eligible on game day, but I don't think that it was, the roster size itself wasn't significantly larger. I mean, the cut down, we're still going to see the cut downs are later, which is helpful, but everyone's going to have to still get down to a 53-man roster by the end of August.
That's a hard thing to do when you think
If
about
you're 85, and you're the 4th tight end, no one's keeping that many tight ends, right?
Yeah.
I mean, 4 is a lot in this day and age.
Hey, CFL, we got some players coming, boys.
Coming where?
To the CFL.
You got some players coming to the CFL?
Yeah.
All these cuts.
The CFL was smart. They would start their training camp after all the cuts happened.
Yeah, that's true.
They just start camp in September. They could round their roster out.
Man, I don't know. I'm just happy football's back. It
Are you excited that your boy Mitchie's going to take Josh Allen's job tonight when he starts in the preseason game?
You're so high. You're so high. If I was worried about Mitch Trubisky knowing how to break a huddle, then maybe I might be worried that he might be able to take Josh Allen's job. But
He just can't
I don't know.
He can't take a snap from under center, but he can break a huddle.
I'm looking forward to Buffalo this year. I still think they're one of the favorites, and with that experience going into last season, I don't know. I mean, sky's the limit for them, honestly. KC is the one right now with all the, all the money problems. You got so many things to work out. I mean, I understand that Pat Mahomes ended up redoing his deal so he could try to keep more of that talent on there, which is actually really speaks a lot to him. Maybe he's learning something from Tom.
Yeah, still a lot of money in the first place.
It's gigantic. It's gigantic.
I heard a good question on the Chiefs is, do you think that the Bucks showed like a little bit of a blueprint on how to beat them?
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely. Yeah. But also,
they also didn't do it, but they showed you how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
But Kansas also didn't have their top guard out there as well. He was out there.
They didn't have either of those starting tackles.
No, they were both out. And they didn't bring them back either, did they?
No.
I don't know. Like, one of them was there during the pandemic in Montreal.
That's the guard, right? He was short
the
season, but they lost both tackles going into Super Bowl week.
Going into it, eh?
Yeah, they lost one in the AFC Championship, and then they lost one during workout, I think. Or somewhere in that timeline, right? They went in not having either starting tackle.
That's crazy.
Which will mess with you. I mean, that's not great. But
that's crazy.
Everyone comes back on, and they didn't they didn't resign either of those tackles. I think the guard is back this year. but he's not. I forget what his name is. It's the hyphenated guy.
Oh, okay. It's not.
Yeah,
Schwartz.
yeah.
No. Schwartz ended up going somewhere else. He was one of the ones that left, and then the other one was that big tackle. I want to say out of. I think he came out of Michigan, or it was Eric Fisher was the other one. And I don't know that he signed anywhere, but because I think he's still dealing with that ACL. But Schwartz had an Achilles injury, and I think he's back. And he's somewhere out of division, but they'll be interesting to watch. There's a lot of chatter. I think the same thing holds true for Buffalo, right? There's the Super Bowl hangover is real, right? We've seen the losers of the Super Bowl not do well, for a decade, right? You get all that publicity, even being a Super Bowl loser. It's hard to turn that around sometimes.
So yeah, Brad, I keep messing up his name. He is an actual doctor as well. He studied at McGill in order to finish that. It's Laurent Duvernay Tardif. That's
why we need you to say it, because he's French.
It'd be great if he's back, because he is a great guard. Absolutely. I'm not cheering for Kansas this year. I still want Buffalo in order to rock it.
First of all, it's Kansas City. You should get it correct. It's not even in the state of Kansas. You know that?
It's in Missouri?
There's only one pro sports team in Kansas proper, and it's their Major League Soccer team, which is hilarious because I don't think
really the Royals. The Royals are a Missouri team as well.
Everyone, all of them are in. All of them are in Missouri.
Yeah.
Why does America have to mess with us Canadians? I'm there thinking Kansas City. It's like, man, it's Kansas.
Well, I mean, it is, right? Just all the teams are located on, the city splits the two states. Right. The state border runs right down the center, or, somewhere in the city, right? And all the sports teams reside on the Missouri side. So.
Too much. This is too much.
You're going to have to know these things, Sean. You're going to have to know
you're moving. Right.
Trying to help you.
So you're going to be a Browns fan too? I know you're lightweight one.
No. Browns are always going to be there, Jeremy. They're always going to be there.
Browns will always be Sean's mistress.
So it's let's say AFC Championship, and you get to go, and it's Browns Bills. What are you wearing?
He's going to have a custom-made jersey. It's half and half, and he's going to get beat up in the hallway.
Because they will be crazy. Browns fans are nuts.
Yeah,
they are. They are. But, I mean, so is the Bills Mafia as well, if you're in
but they're so nice. They're paying for people's tickets. And Browns fans would
donate to charity.
Yeah.
It's not.
Oh, my gosh. You know what all I'm thinking, though? Is Brad has been dogging me all summer about how Buffalo could end up as the Austin Bills because the team is trying to strong arm the city in order to get another. Yeah, I think the city's going to fold.
Yeah,
and end up giving it to them. I really do.
Yeah,
I don't think Buffalo.
You really hope that's what happens.
I think that's a little unfair too of the Bills to do that to the city, though.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, that's Cleveland Browns 1995 or whatever, where it's like, oh, we're not going anywhere. Don't worry about it. And it's like, oh, we need money, so we might go somewhere.
Yeah,
it's real money these days, right?
Oh yeah,
that's real taxpayer dollars to pay for your stadium.
It's absolutely insane when you think about that. The amount of money now NFL franchise is. You're just not walking in there with a couple of investors. You need some real, you know what I mean? People with deep pockets. And I don't even know if it's super profitable unless you have a winning team. Do you think that Mr. Shaw is making a whole ton of money in Jacksonville?
Oh, yeah. Because they've got well, it's a league revenue split deal. All the owners make a split of the revenue, right? So you're not limited to your own team's revenue. All the TV right contracts, all those things, all this stuff's divided 32 ways or however many teams are. Yeah. So that's the buy right there, right? That's why the market is so important to them. That's why they're trying to alienate anybody and get as many eyes as they can because that's their dollar. That's why it's why baseball works, right? It's why Tampa Bay can still have a team.
Yep.
They're a good team. They don't have any fans in the stands, but they're still making money. They're not losing money.
I told you about that.
League in attendance.
That's right. They were supposed to split it, half the games in Montreal, half the games in Tampa, a couple of seasons. Actually, it was supposed to be the season that COVID hit.
Yeah.
And now I don't know. I mean, that's a top team in the American League East. I don't know why they can't draw people.
You would think with all the retirees down in Florida that baseball would be a hotter ticket than it is.
Yeah, you would think so. I don't think Tampa is just. It's a lot of transplants too, though.
Yeah.
Did I explain to you guys? So this is hilarious. I didn't know how to work those QR codes at all. Like you go to the restaurants and in Toronto, it's just everything's on QR codes. Like there's no, like they just want you to do the QR code, right? And I'm there going, all right, pretend you're talking to a Gen Xer, because you are. It's like, pretend you got to really explain this to like somebody who has no idea what you're talking about here. And we figured it out eventually, but man, oh man.
You figured out how to like open up your camera and point it at it?
Yeah. Well, I thought you had to download an app. I thought you had to download an app for the QR code. Yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely,
Now it's way out of your
definitely used to.
Before we get into this baseball talk, hey, Brad, shout out for our sponsors there quickly. And then I got some serious questions about baseball.
Serious questions about baseball?
Serious.
It's our hard-hitting thing of the week.
Hard-hitting.
Flyers for always supporting us. We appreciate you guys. Everyone, Flyers corner of Woodby in 20 in Oak Harbor. Going by, see Tony and the crew, get some beer. Tell them we said hello.
It'll smooth my balls. Hey, use www.smoothmyballs.com/guysbeersports.com in order to get 15% off. Hey, your boys will like it. I'm telling you. All right.
Especially in the summertime, Sean.
Summertime. And also Bodega Brawl coming out September 10th. Really looking forward to this card game. I liked that last commercial I just saw there of how to fight using your mind as opposed to just getting a fist in the face. It's awesome. I like that. So Bodega Brawl coming out September 10th. Andy Mahoney will be coming out September 4th. Talk about it. Looking forward to it.
You can find them on Facebook or Instagram. Bodega Brawl.
Yeah.
Okay, back to baseball.
All right, back to baseball. Jeremy, I'm glad you're here. I really do feel sorry for your Indians right now. 2 games below 500.
What's
Francisco
their new name?
Lindor.
What's the new name going to be?
The Guardians. The Guardians. Have they started that already?
No, not till next year. Yeah, not a huge fan. I know, like, it's the PC way to go. I don't know, but I don't know. It's based off a bridge, basically, a sculpture on a bridge, and I get it, but
isn't that the Guardians that are on the towers? Like you
it's
have
like
them all over the city.
It's a big bridge with like these stone guardians. Yeah,
yeah.
Mhm.
I will give kudos to them for at least coming up with a name faster than Washington.
Yeah. And the thing is funny is earlier in the year, Paul Dolan said, "No, we're not changing our name. You know, it might take a couple years." And then out of nowhere, we're doing the Guardians.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. Personally, I like the Spiders just because of this historical connection. But
please elaborate because I don't know the historical.
Yeah, they used to be called the Cleveland Spiders back in like 1905 or whatever it was.
Yeah, out of here.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's weird that we're throwing history out like that too. That just happened in Seattle with our hockey team. Like there used to be the Seattle Metropolitans, and we all just kind of assumed that we would go back to that nod of the history of it. No, Kraken. So,
are you sad about that?
I'm not sad about it. I just it could have been better. That's just
So Jeremy, I have to say something right now to Brad because he jinxed my Jays last weekend, and he ended up saying,
I just called
jinxed the Jays last weekend when he ended up saying, "Hey, Seattle's going to go and sweep your team this weekend." Up last weekend we were there,
and
came darn close.
What else did I say? I said sweep and overtake you in the wild card race.
Well, you overtaken us.
Yes.
You've overtaken us because I don't know what is going on with the Jays right now. Like it's like they've fallen apart in this road trip. It's disgusting. Well, they just came back home.
That's what happened.
Yeah. They came back home. They're playing the Tigers. I mean, Baltimore's coming into town. Maybe we'll get a few games back, but this thing is over.
Baltimore just set a record for the most losses by double digits or something like that, right? Like something stupid.
Ridiculous.
And
ridiculous.
not very good either. You should
No, they're
hold
not.
serious, really.
And it's just like, I don't know, like we made these trades for these pitchers that come in, you know, like Brad Hand and Mr. Berrios there. Manoah drops a deuce in that game against Washington. He was like rocking it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oops, I don't know how to pitch anymore. Berrios has not done anything, and Hand has lost 2 games already in this past little bit.
Yeah.
And now
so
look-
hit or miss.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
really
Well,
is.
you would know because he was in Cleveland for a time there, right?
Yeah, yeah. Those
And
relievers,
then-
I mean, it just seems like they just lose
Have you-
it out of nowhere.
Have you guys noticed the dip in starting pitching since the Foreign Substance Act kind of came through? Like not necessarily early, but right about inning 4 or 5, the control
Mhm.
starts to dip off.
Hmm.
I don't know. Yeah.
I just think it's interesting. I don't want to call shenanigans. I don't think they were doing much that was like influencing,
Right.
Yeah.
but I think it probably gave them some longevity.
Oh, yeah. I mean, all his other issues aside, Trevor Bauer came out and said that I've been using it for years, like
Yeah.
everybody does.
Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that crazy? That last game in Seattle with those 2 pitchers going at it there, and they were both at like almost 100 pitches by the 4th or 5th inning.
Yep.
That was crazy out there
That was
going
wild.
between the Jays and the Mariners. Both these pitchers were at almost 100 pitches by the 5th inning, and I'm like, what in the world? Bullpen's getting activated. It's
Yeah, yeah.
This year, though, I mean, I got to be honest. New York Yankees, you never count them out. But when they swept Boston, overtook the wild card, I mean, it's crazy. And I really think it is the Yankees and it's the Athletics are going to be there. Too bad for Marcus Simeon, who decided to sign with the Blue Jays. Is going to miss out on a chance to play in the wild card with Oakland.
Oakland's staggering. They're falling like a
Mhm.
lead balloon right now, just like your Jays are. But I digress. Oakland. I don't know. Oakland's going to get in or out. I don't know. Houston is a problem. And,
Mhm.
you know,
Well, Houston's one of the divisional leaders, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah, I just mean from being in there at the end. Like I'm talking, you know, I was assuming, you know, I thought you mean the wild card race. That's who's going to win the wild card race.
yeah, I'm talking about the wild card race right now. It's the Yankees and the Athletics in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I'm not even looking at National League because it's just like, okay, Dodgers.
Right.
They're sweeping that all up. It's like, geez, it's not even fair.
Especially if Trevor Bauer gets back in now and he can, you know, have a month off in the middle of the season and come back and pound into form. Like, man, that's dangerous.
As long as he doesn't cut his hand on a drum.
Yeah. Well,
Man.
now
Hey,
we wonder
I wanna-
if it was a drone, right? That's
I don't care. Like, I saw that they dropped the restraining order and all that. Like, legal issues aside, like if he's found not guilty,
Yeah.
it's still messed up, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just,
The morality of it supersedes the legality of it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And he's just a weird dude. You're just like, man, there's something about you. Like, this could be just the tip of the iceberg with this guy.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of like where that Deshaun Watson thing goes for me too, right? Like there's so much smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe there's a massage therapist union in Houston that's all joined together to conspire against Deshaun Watson. Maybe,
Mhm.
right? I
Mhm.
don't know the answer. But
Are you saying it's like
20
Deshaun Watson Pizzagate?
listen, 22 is a lot, dude. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you got
22 is a lot.
22 people
Yeah.
saying some things,
Right.
one of them might be right. That's just what I keep saying.
Right.
Well,
Odds are.
Bill Cosby got out in a technicality. I'm not going to say he didn't do that stuff.
Oh, I think we all agree Bill Cosby did do those things. He did.
Yeah. I think it just goes to show money can do anything.
Yeah. It's a
Unfortunately.
dark, yeah. And then this day and age with technology and everything's recorded and everything's, you know, there's receipts for everything, right? That's
Yeah.
the takeaway of it is, you know, we're never far off. I mean, even you look what happened with the guy on Jeopardy. He's in trouble now and lost his job because of something he said in 2013.
Yep.
What, the new guy that just hired?
Yeah, he didn't make it. He made it, I don't know, a couple weeks, I guess. But someone found something that he said on a podcast where he was, you know, not great towards women. And see ya.
It's funny. I was reading on NFL.com that Aaron Rodgers would have retired from the NFL if he got the job in Jeopardy.
No kidding.
Yeah, I didn't read that he would retire. I read that he would do it because he could fly in and record episodes on like Tuesday, which is like traditionally their day off.
Right.
And so they record the week. He would fly out of Green Bay to LA on Tuesday, record 5 episodes, then fly back for practice.
Fly back. That's actually smart. Yeah. Yeah. But right now, there's just Mayim Bialik then. That's who's going to be the full-time host.
I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they'll bring A-Rod in and let him do it.
Well, no, because she was the one of the hosts, right? They're going to have 2 hosts.
Yeah.
So she's probably going to take the hosting duties. You're right. Maybe they'll both do it.
Sean, I'm blessed. I'm younger than 45 still. I don't watch Jeopardy. I don't know what's going on.
Listen, when Alex Trebek died, it was a sad day here in Canada. Okay,
I believe
sad
that.
day.
Yeah, I believe that. Tim and Celine Dion, those are your 2 national.
Oh
heroes.
man, does Drake get to that level?
Drake's trying. One more album, maybe. And
There you go.
Yeah, I agree with you.
He's got to have some kind of Titanic smash. And
There you go.
Overtake.
Yeah.
I mean,
Close.
It's funny, right? Because the Tragically Hip, I remember when Gord Downie passed away, that was like a national tragedy. The Prime Minister even cried when Gord Downie, lead singer of the Tragically Hip, passed away. But nobody else around the world knows who the Tragically Hip is. They have no idea. But that's how Canadian they were. Because they were loved. When you sell 30 million albums in a country where there's like 36 million people, maybe you got the quarter there. You know what I mean? You got a quarter on that.
Yeah.
My wife.
When did that happen?
When he passed away?
Yeah.
2017.
Okay.
Brain cancer. And he was touring all the way up until the end. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, we love their songs. My wife, funny enough, she's American as well, Jeremy. I mean, you were related through marriage, I guess. So just as I'm related to you through marriage.
Mm-hmm.
But don't do it, Brad. I see you. I see you over there. Don't do it. But the thing is that
You're
she
married
hates
to the second power, or how does that work?
Exactly.
But she hates the tragedy.
Pseudo third cousins or something.
Pseudo uncle. Yeah.
It's a crazy, yeah. But yeah, she hates the Tragically Hip. She hates Gord Downie's voice, the whole entire nine. But I guess it's just an American thing. I don't know. You have to be Canadian, I think, in order to appreciate. So
is that like ketchup chips and?
Exactly, like all dressed chips. It's just like.
I'll tell you that I had some all dressed chips this summer.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, these, like, I didn't know what they were at first. And I was like, this is like a really weird barbecue. Like, what is this? Like, oh, it's all dressed. They were on sale. And I was like, makes sense.
Sadler with that picture. I'm telling you, that picture just embodied it all. With it has everything in it because we don't see what's on the all dressed chips, just all dressed, right?
Yeah.
But it had on the American one is like they're trying to show you that it has everything. Like, you know, they has a little vinegar, a little sour cream and onion. So it's showing every single thing. And then at the bottom, like, this is going to be the clincher for the sale. #1 selling chip in Canada. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure Americans care about that.
In case it was terrible, is what they were doing. All
All
dressed feels like it was like a bet at Lay's staff meeting.
I'm just
got
saying,
all
what
this extra
myself.
stuff. What do we do with
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
What do we do with it?
We'll just blame it on Canada if it's bad.
Yep.
We're good.
They sent to Canada to see if it worked, and that did. They're like, "Holy shit, this works!" All this stuff.
I don't know what to say, guys. I mean, you know, we love poutine. We love meat pies, but we call it tortilla here. The French Canadians actually given us quite a lot of this cuisine. And then there's a Lebanese community that came out in Halifax to give us, you guys love the heroes. We love the donair. This Donair sweet sauce. Donairs are just, they're perfect. They're perfect. After a night of drinking, you want a Donair, just sop everything up. It's a pizza.
Mm.
And I wish I could prove I'm wrong, but you guys have no idea what a Donair is.
Nope.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Yeah. No, you're not good. You need a Donair. You need one.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
Hey.
Another visitor.
Hey. What a grad. What's going on there?
I start the day before everyone else, and so let's see.
Waking up.
Yeah, everyone's waking up and getting to it.
Hey, all right. I wanted to jump over quickly to my hypothetical question of the week here. Okay.
Well, ask
So-
first the question you asked me yesterday.
Jeremy, this is a good one right off the start, because we did this in the breaking in yesterday. Jeremy, would you rather be hit with 100-mile-per-hour fastball to the face or 100-mile-per-hour slap shot to the face?
Yeah, I think we talked about this before. Definitely fastball.
I think that's consensus.
I think there's just
Right.
more. I mean, there's more give to it. That puck, man, that would be.
Yeah, my
Oh.
thought is there's edges on that puck, and it just feels
Yeah.
like slice hitting.
Yeah.
I mean, the
think-
puck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry to
No,
cut
no,
you
no.
off.
I just think. I mean, you got the strings on the back on the baseball, but like he said, the edges would just tear you up. Mm-mm.
Well, when I think about the original puck was made out of frozen horse pucky, and then after that, it just became rubber.
Mhm.
They just kept, like, oh my goodness, that thing hitting you in the face. And I don't even know how those goaltenders, before the time of the face mask, were playing.
Mhm. Or even
Such a
guys
shock.
today without a full. mask.
It's a set of urgency. Like that's the same. Like that game wasn't fast enough back then. Like you had some urgency to protect your face. You were a better goalkeeper without a mask on.
You think so? Because Jacques Plante, I think, was the first one in order to get the mask in there because he got stitched up
but I would
with the
argue
mask
that
on.
that's probably where the game started to like really develop and slap shots started to become a thing. You know what I mean? Where like dudes were just teeing off with accuracy.
Well, yeah, and
That's what brings safety equipment. Right?
Yeah.
When the game evolves and accuracy.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
there's a big movement now for pitchers starting to do like what they do in softball and wearing face shields
Yeah.
because someone's gonna.
that's not a bad idea.
Mm-mm.
We're not real far, but now that batters could just. I mean, now we saw who was it? Someone or gosh dang, what's his name? The kid used to play in Baltimore. Now he plays in San Diego. He's a Jordan Brand athlete. Manny Machado. Manny Machado hit a ball last night, and they came off the bat at 119 miles an hour.
Yes, that's no joke.
Right.
That one the Oakland guy took off his face was like 101. Was the velocity.
Yeah, 101.
That's 18 miles an hour faster, which is substantial. Like there's man.
Yeah, but 101 and his cheek was fractured. I mean, I don't know
Yes,
what
that's
else.
what
The
I'm
amount
saying.
of
But
blood.
think about 18
Yeah.
miles an hour faster in that same
Right.
spot. Like that's
Oh.
even more devastating.
Yeah.
Not far off from, I mean, it's rare that you see someone take one like that, but even, man, I played beer league softball for a while and like, man, those pitchers were throwing, like lobbing the ball up and then like backpedaling into a defensive stance immediately
Right.
just to
Right.
defend themselves because,
Yeah,
that's
That's
real.
great.
That's real speed.
I'm just amazed at how like when you're saying about the evolution of the sport, right? Because like back in the day with hockey, with the wooden sticks, and you still had a guy like Al McInnes getting 100 and something miles per hour on a slap shot, right, on a wooden stick. Now with these carbon sticks that they're making, where you see the bend in the stick, you know that that's getting some extra oomph onto that thing.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Like, that's crazy. And now with baseball, because I'm certain no matter what you think, right? these guys are getting jacked in order to play, except for maybe I was about to say something really bad. I'm just going to edit this right out if it comes out. But you do have the odd guy that looks like he's still got likes to eat his muffins in the morning. I don't know, you know what I mean? But
yeah, but that guy's still got all power though, right?
Right.
Like they have the muffins in the morning and just smack a ball here. But the thing is that these guys can hit that ball at some crazy speeds now. It's insane.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I think there's such an emphasis on NFL players not targeting it above the neck and shoulders anymore. I mean, you think about I was reading the other day just about the size that guys used to be, and how fast they ran. You're talking about you had safeties who were 5'10", 5'11", 180 pounds, right? Which is fine. They're running 4.8s, which is 4.7s.
Which is
now you've
slow.
got safeties that are running 4.4, 4.5.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's not a small change in velocity, right? And you got guys and then they practice all year round. They're not working at car dealerships. They're not working, they're not dragging sleds and flipping tires anymore.
Right.
They're training to do that. Live reps are a thing. Man, you've got to at some point start adding protection in when the game starts to evolve like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's amazing though, because it's who was the first one that would sit there and say, this is the way we're going to change training. You know what I mean?
The first time your superstar gets hurt. The first time a superstar gets hurt.
Yeah.
It's
He'll be lining up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
I think a lot of it is they play.
If that dude from the A's would have been an ace pitcher, right?
Yeah.
If he'd have been the number one somewhere, or he'd have been, the face of the franchise, we'd be hearing even louder. But that shit was scary watching it happen.
Absolutely,
man, that's the real.
It was horrifying to see that. It's just wow. But that's the thing though. I mean, I remember in the NHL when all of a sudden they introduced dry land training, right? Because it was just ice training, then dry land training. But now you're getting into a whole new realm of training. It just seems like training is just evolving and evolving and evolving, and it's just making these athletes that much more potent in their sport. You know what I mean? Now all of a sudden it's you have to really be concerned at what this person is now capable of. It's crazy, when you think about the Malice and the Palace, and these guys are teeing off, these Indiana Patriot guys are teeing off on some fans, they could kill a fan.
Mm-hmm.
And then all I'm thinking is
they didn't have hockey. If you know anything about that Pacers team, they were famous for some parking lot altercations also. So I think they had
that year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the year Steven Jackson got ran over and Jamal Tinsley's car had 9 bullets in it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's
there's
crazy.
A Netflix documentary too, right?
There is. I just watched it recently, but I don't think it is
it came out 10 days ago. So sometime in the last 10 days.
All I'm thinking is Jermaine O'Neal going and almost knocking off that fan's head, right? And
he did knock him off.
But he slipped. He slipped and he ended up falling, right? Because if he made full connection, that boy is that man is in the hospital.
That boy had enough just with the slip punch.
Yeah.
But that's that. Can you imagine an athlete now? I remember back in the 80s, I think it was.
Well, I would argue though, athletes now can't fight as well as they used to be able to.
They are pretty coddled.
Tiger. Yeah. Was it Tiger Ted Williams, who ended up going up, a Boston player, ended up going into the stands, took off Buddy's shoe, and just started smacking him in the head with his shoe, right?
Yeah. Well, you got right? You got some guys that can still fight. But I'm just saying, predominantly.
Ty Domi. This is. I'm talking about whatever. This is in the late 70s, early 80s.
We're in the Wayback Machine again. We're making the Wayback Machine again.
Yeah. I'm just let me make my comparison here. Ty Domi ended up grabbing a fan that was all lippy and everything, but with the Bay Street bullies, because Bay Street's a street here in Toronto, and he ended up smacking them around, right? But now I'm thinking, if any of these guys, even though you're saying, in the NHL, if a Tom Wilson were to grab a fan, If Tom Wilson would grab a fan and smack him around, or Zdeno, the big Z. Can you imagine Zdeno Chara grabbing a fan?
Yeah.
You know who I'm
But
talking
the other
about,
thing
Brad?
is-
You know who I'm talking about?
There's more meathead fans walking around now too than there was before either, right? Like,
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay.
there'll be some. You might
Big
catch
Z-
the wrong guy. That would be a bit.
Big Z is the wrong guy. That guy is sick. Although he's the most nicest guy, from what I understand. The most nicest guy. But this guy's 6'8", 6'10" on skates. And he's made hockey players look like little children, you know. Like when he's in a fight with them, he makes them look like children. Can you imagine that guy going in the fan? I can't imagine now. Like, even though you're saying that some of these guys don't know how to fight, they're still
I mean, they don't know how to
pretty
fight.
much
They're just
physical
not fighters.
specimens.
They don't let them fight as much anymore. They're just not as skilled as they have been.
Right.
I want to ask a question, Jeremy. Jeremy, we know that you professionally are a videographer, right? And so you've
Mhm.
done a lot of sporting events. What
Mhm.
would be like? How do you think you would handle the malice of the palace if you were on the sideline running camera?
I like this question.
Yeah, that's a good one. You're trained to just put your camera down and kind of step away,
Yeah.
I guess.
But the best stories come when you don't. Though,
I
Isn't
know.
that part
That's
of it?
true. Right. Live outside your viewfinder kind of thing.
Yeah.
I would probably do that, to be honest with you. I would step back where I could find some kind of safety corner
Yeah.
if I could,
Yeah,
and probably just see what I can capture.
yeah.
Because you never know. I mean, it could change my career. They could fire me, but I could be like, yeah, man, I captured that. Let's go
Yeah.
do it.
They might lose a job. You get
Right. Right.
Then all of a sudden you're in a documentary and you're talking about
exactly.
it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I would stop recording. I don't think I would. I've
It
gotten
probably
plowed
depends on what your fight or
over.
flight is,
Yeah.
though, right? I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
You got plowed over, eh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting sideline. You kind of get.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You're gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll just sit back up and do what you can do. See what you
Okay,
got.
question. Who is the hardest one diving into? I don't know if you can even physically, like mentally think about, okay, register. What was the worst one that happened?
I mean, it's only happened like maybe once or twice. So.
which
Oh,
one
well,
gave
then
you the most nervousness? Where you're like, man,
Yeah.
Did you have any close calls where you're like, whew?
Trying to think. Yeah. Probably just someone in summer league, like a jetty or something, where you just kind of barrels through and you're like, whoa, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then the ref's backing up, and just one of those.
yeah. Did you ever go work summer league games?
Yes, yeah, twice. Yeah, I
Summer
did-
league's on my bucket list.
Yeah, I did Vegas and Utah. We did
Yeah.
both one year.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I just watched summer league. It was back on after a year hiatus, and I was like, man, like, I
It's
gotta
pretty
get
cool.
there now.
it's pretty
It
cool.
is
I mean,
cool.
you got regular stars sitting sideline that just come to watch all these kids play, and they play hard, and
Yeah,
there's just game after game after game.
yeah. That's what I like about it. It's a high level AAU tournament.
Right,
So
exactly.
right.
Right. Yeah.
So true. So true.
Yeah, it's man, it's a lot of fun. I'm gonna be there.
Mhm.
Well, depending on the state of the world, like it's on my list to go next year. I've been putting it
Yeah.
off for probably 10 years. Like, oh, next year,
Yeah.
having kids and all that kind of stuff gets away, and now I'm in the
Yeah.
spot where I can go. And
Yeah.
I was gonna try and go in 2020, and the world stopped, and then this year was just I didn't catch that it was picking up, that it was gonna go live until it was too late to try to get there, and whatever. But next year, man, like I got to get there.
Yeah, I think Vegas would be the better one because there's just it's UNLV and there's just two stadiums and you can just
Bounce
That
through
is so
there, right?
awesome. Yeah.
There's a couple of different courts in each spot too, right? So there's
Mhm.
there's always, what I understand, there's a game going,
and there's another one right
and then another one
across
starts at the half, right? So there's always games kind of overlapping themselves, and
Yep.
and the NBA has really got to drive this year too to pick up the first round draft picks are playing for the recently they have been, but previously not, right? And
Right.
so you're seeing like the Kate Cunningham, Jalen
Yep.
Green battle and all that stuff. It'd be cool just to see that stuff live and
Yeah.
in person,
Yeah.
kind of in an unfiltered environment.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Normally
not
those
so-
top three guys don't play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last couple of years we've seen it though. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Seeing that dunk from that Portland kid, I'm gonna miss Brown, Tony Brown, Gary Brown, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pulled
we're-
off the
they got
J.R.
check after.
Ryder
Yeah.
East Bay Funk dunk in a game. That's so
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So
Hey, have you been paying attention to some of the Raptors guys that end up coming out in the summer league? There's the Precious Williams. Nobody's paying attention to the Raptors.
No, honestly not. All I know is they
Well-
lost Lowry. That's all.
Yeah, not since Kyle.
You're
Lowry went to
absolutely,
Miami.
yeah.
I was like, okay, well,
Yeah, I think he took his
Pascal's your
talent
boy
over
now.
to South Beach. Huh?
I said Pascal's your boy now.
Oh, the Raptors are looking at this right now with Pascal Siakam, the amount of money they gave him. I'm sure, I'm glad we kept Masai Ujiri, right? He ended up signing back. He's got a good eye for talent. He's made, that was a great call in order to make that trade for DeMar DeRozan for Kawhi Leonard for right now, one championship, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's an
I mean-
interesting question, though, right? This is, would you rather your franchise trade for a shot at one championship, or would you rather them try to build a perennial winner?
We all knew as soon as DeMar DeRozan was done.
Well, I
this
know,
is
I
gonna
understand.
happen, right?
We knew what it was, but as a
Yeah.
fan base, what do you think is?
No, I don't think so.
Winning
Because it's
one's
just
fantastic,
so-
right? But being
Yeah.
competitive is
But that's okay. So in America, you could definitely do that. Okay. But being a Canadian franchise and in a Canadian team, there's a lot of people here that think that there is some sort of conspiracy that no American and American TV and American other franchises do not want to see a Canadian team win a championship that is usually held by an American team. So when this happens, they feel that, of course, the networks are upset because they're not getting as much viewership because it's the Raptors or the Blue Jays that are in that finals. So yes, we believe that there is a huge conspiracy against Canadian teams because if we win anything, nobody's watching and then they get pissed. Okay. Forget about the taxes. Forget about the crazy taxes as an athlete
You're
coming out
telling
here to play.
me that there's that the owners aren't letting the talent go to Canada because they don't want them to win.
No, I'm saying that the talent is not coming to Canada because there's no franchise dollars. They know they're going to be
It's the same
taxed.
money.
You're walking into winter.
Yes.
9 months out of the year.
Listen,
Okay. Why
none
do
of
you
those
think?
are
Why do you think the
conspiracy
New
shows.
York? Hey. Why do you think the New York Knicks cannot sign anybody? Because you're walking into a cold ass area.
No,
I
it's
disagree
because
with
they
the
have
Knicks.
James Dolan as an owner.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that one. I mean, even us at Cleveland, we think the same thing. When it's Cleveland and Golden State in the finals, we're thinking everybody's rooting for Golden State or what. That wasn't the case, but because they want New
Yeah.
York and LA, they want the Knicks.
Yeah, but you had a generational talent on your team.
Yeah.
A generational talent.
No, I
we
get
had a
that.
generational talent on our team for one season.
And you won.
Were we hoping we could sign him for
And
longer?
he got tired of paying
Absolutely.
45% tax bracket and
Yeah.
came back to the United States.
Well, here was my thing: is that if you're a good organization and you're coming into a Canadian branch team, okay, to be competitive, you need to pay those taxes back to these athletes because these are outrageous taxes over here. Okay, you guys think you guys get taxed? You don't know what tax is until you come to Canada.
I live close enough to know.
Yeah, but you guys are at 8%. 8%.
No.
I was like, woo.
8%. That's a
Woo.
no. 8%
Just
is simply a
sales tax?
sales tax, bro.
Yeah,
It's not a
yeah.
state.
Yeah.
It's not an income tax.
Woo.
You're
Income
not paying.
tax.
You're not paying 40% on a sales tax.
No, that's crazy.
You know? Yeah, I know. Up here, because we have harmonized. And right now I'm in Ontario and I'm feeling like reprieve because it's that 13%. When I was in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and I'm sorry, I love you guys in Halifax, great place. 17%? That's as much as a freaking tip.
You gotta pay for that road maintenance somehow.
But that's what I'm saying, though, is that you have to sit there and like income tax. Forget about it because you have the federal and whatever province that you're in, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be able to sit there and at least give that money back to these athletes. So whenever I hear Americans complain about taxes, I always chuckle a little bit because you really don't know what taxes are.
I get it though. I think to a certain extent though, they have to understand the more money you make, the harder it's going to hurt with taxes and all that. I mean, these guys aren't struggling. Like
No.
If I loved Toronto and I wanted to go play for Toronto, sure, I'd think about the tax. That would suck, but I'm
Yeah.
still making.
Well, they're still
$4
paying the
million
tax. They still pay the tax to the government. It's just that the organization gives them the tax back, right?
a year. Mhm.
Yeah, we
Because-
understand what you're saying, but that doesn't happen
Yeah.
anywhere. I mean, New York's got a high tax
Yeah.
market.
So is LA.
too.
Yeah,
Plus, you're paying the same. You're paying in rent, right? You're paying the cost of
Mhm.
living expenses, all those things.
absolutely. Yeah,
Because you'll hear every once in a while, like Florida will have a no state tax, right?
right.
Washington is a no state tax. It's pretty easy.
Alberta is the only one. You'll just have to pay the goods and service tax because that's a federal tax. So Alberta has no sales tax. Yeah, but they're also cowboys there too. Real live
You've just been
cowboys.
saving up all these conspiracy theories for the last.
We had a whole month off. Oh my gosh. Hey, I did want to bring up. So in the NHL, there's some few trades that ended up happening. Hey, Columbus. I don't know what you're gonna look like. Patrick Laine, they ended up signing. That's great. Leafs. I don't know.
I need to interrupt you. How terrible is it normal for the draft picks to go back to school?
Oh no, that's bad, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad.
I
know exactly what you're talking about.
Right? They're like, man,
Yeah.
I don't want to play in Buffalo. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go back to college.
Yeah, that's bad, buddy. Yeah, that's
Terrible.
that's bad. That's terrible. And that's Buffalo's, right? Buffalo's
Yeah.
number one.
The number one
Yeah.
overall pick's like, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Michigan.
That's bad. Like, there's no other way to say it. That's horrifying. That just tells you what kind of draft class this was. So,
Or what kind of organization Buffalo has, but
Mhm.
either way.
or that as well. But no, that's bad. That's bad. I've never heard of that. Usually, if you're a number one guy, you're going out there and you're playing for a season. Like
How much money
you're
does
playing.
the number one overall pick in hockey make? What's their
Well, I mean, you're probably looking at about $1 million a season right now for the first 3 to 4, and then all of a sudden you get the sign, right? So you're making decent cash. It's not like,
Yeah.
it's not life changing. Well, for you and me and the rest of us, it's life changing money. But I mean, as an athlete, it's not life changing, right? But it also, you're the guy that they've invested in, saying, hey, you're going to lead this organization. But the thing is that Buffalo, I already said this, they've had the top 5, or at least in the top 10 for the past 17 seasons or something like that. They're in the top 10, and you still can't build anything off of that. That's a horrible organization.
That's why
I don't
they're
even know what to
leveraging the city, because they know there's no pro sports in Buffalo outside of them.
You're mixing sports now. You're talking about my Bills and all of a sudden the Sabres. It's two different sports.
That's the way it works. They looked at their
Hey.
competitors in that market and they're like, oh, yeah, the Sabres are our competitors. Yeah, we're going to leverage them.
I am so sorry about Columbus losing John Tortorella, but I'm sure that your next coach over here, he looks actually pretty decent.
Mhm.
You signed up Patrick Laine. I thought that was a good signing there.
I was actually curious about that one. I didn't think it was going to happen, but
I
it seemed
think
like he
because-
wanted to be here.
No, I know, but when you get moved right mid-season, stuff like that, so give him a whole season and see what happens. Because you're going into a whole new organization, you don't know what to expect. He was already on the decline though right away, so it's interesting. Henrik Lundqvist is calling it a career, and I was really rooting for this guy. So do you remember he got bought out by the New York Rangers last season and then ended up going over to Washington because the Capitals lost what's his face there. They ended up going to Vancouver, and I can't remember his name right now. It's really embarrassing. And it's only because I've already had 3 beer. But but they lost him, and so they brought him over, and then he had some heart issues, right? And he had to have a heart valve transplant. And he was trying to make a comeback in July. He was doing workouts and everything. I guess the workouts was just not, it was causing him to have issues. So he's calling it a career.
Isn't he 17 years in, though?
Yeah.
It's a long time to play.
It is a long time. It's not like he just came and went. But the thing is that Mike Richter at least got one Stanley Cup with the New York Rangers in '94, right? This guy's got no Stanley Cups. He's going away. He's going away 6th overall in wins. I mean, that's not a chump. That's not chump change. 6th overall in wins, no Stanley Cups.
Yeah. He's the.
That's only because he played for the Rangers. Huh?
He's the Patrick Ewing of hockey.
That's a great.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I like that. Wow. Your 5th favorite sports coming into a lot of knowledge here.
Here we go. Might move into a tie for 4th. We'll see.
I know. Do we have a one-on-one question before we let go of Jeremy and we get out of here?
Sounds good.
I thought you had a would you rather. I thought we were going that way.
I already did that. We did that then.
No, you did the one you did yesterday for Jeremy.
All right. I got
You
another.
said it was good. Let's hear it. Let's close.
It is good. It is good. Stop it. Okay. Would you rather? Would you rather be hunted down by Zdeno Chara on the ice after something that you just did, or have to tackle Derrick Henry?
I have to tackle Derrick Henry for sure, because I'm going to fail at it, but I'm going to at least walk away with not a concussion or a broken bone.
Have you seen Zdeno Chara?
I mean, he's a massive.
Yeah, listen, I can't skate. First of all, I can't skate, so it's going to be a short hunt.
Yeah. Well, I can skate. I played hockey, and I know how bad that would hurt.
Yeah,
To
it'd be
hunted
terrible.
down. Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
I'd rather initiate the violence than
Yeah.
have the violence initiated on me.
Right. Then it's like how much you can give it, and yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I want anything to do with Zdeno Chara. I have to agree with you. I think I would go try to tackle Derrick Henry as well.
It's not going to
And
go well.
hope. Yeah, and hope.
No,
I'm probably going to get old
those are both
Heisman to your
terrible.
face.
Those are both terrible things.
Yeah.
Man. All right. Is that where we're ending on there? Or we have a one-on-one question here for your Brett.
No, I think we'll end it right there.
Yeah. All right. Boy, oh boy. It was so good to be back in the driver's seat. Jeremy, thank you so much for coming out, my man.
Yeah, no problem.
Always a good time.
Jeremy,
Always a good time.
It is
Yeah.
fun, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see you soon. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Kids, till next time, be good at it.
Righto.
You've listened to the podcast, but now it's time to visit us in our virtual sports bar. Get all of our info at guysbeersports.com, where you can find all the ways to connect with us. Watch for live conversations with Brad and Sean that happen throughout the week, and join in with your favorite local beer. You can share your thoughts in the conversation comments with your own uploaded videos, or even join us as a guest live commentator. The GBS Virtual Sports Bar is open for business. Come on in, boys and girls.